Hi, coming up in this week's episode, the first of a brand new web-based weekly TV show, an opinion on why there are so many street magicians working and earning a living from the oldest trick in the world, the cups and balls, my YouTube rant, an interview with escapologist, contortionist and magician Chris Cross, a question from Alan Taylor of Manchester, England, and how you can get involved to become part of a new wave of magic online, on your computer and in your home. My name is James and this is Magic News Television. The cups and balls, primarily the oldest trick in the world. It has been said that on a wall of an Egyptian pyramid there are hieroglyphics depicting this. That's how far back it goes. Although Penn and Teller, well-respected magicians from America, say that, well, it could just be a juggler or it could just be somebody with a loaf of bread. Be that as it may, there doesn't seem to be a pitch around the world where there isn't a street magician working the cups. And wherever you're from, you've probably seen it. You know, the table is set out, the crowd is generated, the props are introduced and the performance begins. Well, actually, the performance begins as soon as Mr. Magic takes to the pitch. So why are there so many magicians working the streets with this particular trick? Well, this is my opinion. So why are there so many magicians, me included, all performing it with the same lines, the same shtick, the same performance style? Quite a few years ago, one of magic's most respected leaders in the field of street magic, a gentleman by the name of Gazzo, he took a lecture around parts of Europe and America, teaching how to do it. That is to say, teaching the minutiae of where this goes there, that goes there, this is what to say when you do that, this is what to say when you do this, and even supplying and providing those people that wanted it the props in order for them to go out and do it. But just like a lot of other magicians, unfortunately, I didn't listen because there was a caveat. And the caveat was this: take what you've learned, use it, understand why it works, what works, and then change it. Make it your own. Make it your standard. Make it your thing. There are some magicians out there who have taken it to new heights and different heights. Charlie Caper, Nick Nicholas, to name but a few. They have reached the heights and actually become known for who they are rather than just what they do. I've been working the cups and balls on the streets for the past 6 years. I'm going to make a change. Well, that's my opinion, and if you'd like to leave a comment on it, please do so below. You can agree or disagree, but please remember it is a public space, so don't use any sweary bits. Thanks very much. And now it's time for my YouTube rant. My YouTube rant. What's it about? Well, you watch online video, right? You watch magic online videos, either on YouTube or any other video sharing website, and maybe even post stuff yourself. Maybe you post stuff to other websites that are only suitable for viewers of 18 years and over. Interesting. But part of a weekly segment on Magic News Television, we will be delving into YouTube and extracting some of the videos that might make you laugh, might make you cry, might make you thoroughly cheesed off. So this is my YouTube rant. Take Sam the Bellhop, as popularized by Bill Malone.
Instead of most magicians, though, instead of having a card pick, I'm going to start off by telling you a little story.
Look at that performance. He has charisma, he has presentational skills, he has the chops, he has the performance, he has everything down pat. Hey, he wouldn't even need to have a deck of cards to tell that story.
Out of nowhere, the two doors opened up wide, and into the restaurant walked 4 gentlemen dressed like kings.
He's funny, he's entertaining, and he does know how to entertain with a deck of cards. Make sure you understand that word, entertain.
Nobody has ever done it that well. That's very, very good.
YouTube and other video sharing websites are great for seeing and watching material that you would never normally see. But because of that, we have to put up with this.
This is my second entry for Supercard Kids contest number 2.
What was that? Super Kids contest number 2?
This is my second entry for Supercard Kids contest number 2.
I mean, how much of Bill's work is going to be devastated and decimated by these people posting what they do? Urgh!
Said, Sam, you're a heck of a guy. Here's a $2 tip for you, Sam.
His efforts are being destroyed by people on YouTube posting crap like this.
The whole entire deck arranged right in story order.
Or this.
Sometimes what you're really doing is you're taking the cards off the bottom.
Some people just don't get it. Luckily, some people do.
Check this deck for me.
No, they really do get it.
And that land is the land of diamonds.
We can't stop it. We can't police it. Not that we would want to. But for those that do post stuff like this, here's a little message from a great American comedian, Bob Newhart. I'll leave the last word up to him.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it or I'll bury you alive in a box!
You know, working on the streets for the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity and pleasure to work alongside some really great performers who have become household names and certainly well respected in the busking community. I've also had the pleasure of watching some performers rise throughout the ranks and attain the heights that they themselves thought that they would. One such performer was an escapologist, entertainer, magician and contortionist, Chris Cross. I met Chris first time 4 years ago and thought he was very generic, and I thought he was very cocky for a young lad. Boy, was my assumption wrong, because now I see through his sheer tenacity, his street smarts, his sheer skill with the show and the business. I've seen him reach heights that he knew he was going to get to. Kudos. I met up with Chris in Edinburgh 2010 during the Fringe Festival again, and this is a short wee video of our time and interview together.
Hey, my name's Chris Cross and you're watching MagicNews TeleVision.
Hi, we're at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival with Chris Cross from Newcastle, and he's taking time away from his heavy schedule to do just a quick interview for MagicNews.tv. When I first met you, you were doing alcove shows, you know, the small 20-minute spots turned into 30-minute spots. Now you're going on to the big circle shows, which is 45 minutes long. How's that working out for you?
Yeah, as you say, there was the smaller shows on the street, like small street shows, to accommodate small audiences, but I was told last year that I had to do the circle shows this year because I was getting too big.
The shows are getting too big for the alcoves?
That's right, yeah.
So now you're doing big shows and you're only getting one show in a day?
Yeah, just one show a day, when you've got to make it count. The big circle shows at the Edinburgh Festival, all the big street performers need to get a slot. Programmed in, scheduled in, and we all turn up at 10 o'clock in the morning. The only problem I'm having is the draws at 10 o'clock in the morning, and when you've been out all night having a bit of a party, yeah, it's sunglasses on all day kind of moment.
So,
But
you're actually a qualified professional. You're not out partying every night. I met you about 4 years ago, and you had short hair and you were just doing a lot of card tricks and stuff.
That's cool. It's cool.
But this year has been absolutely awesome for you. Could you run us by what's happened since January?
This year I ended up getting booked for the most prestigious busking festival in the world, called the World Buskers Festival, and that's in Christchurch, New Zealand, which is a hell of a lot nicer than in Newcastle in January. So I did that for the month. In January, February, I was doing all the I know I like to be rock and roll, but it's bloody hot here, so I'm taking it. In February I did the burlesque and cabaret clubs in Paris for the Valentine season for 2 weeks, which was really nice. In March I did Bahrain Formula 1 entertainment out there. In April, for some random reason that I don't really know too much about, I was on Greece's Got Talent in Athens, so I got through the semi-finals of that. And I was invited out there as a guest, which was really nice. I mean, they were very accommodating. And
so you could say that 2010 so far has been an absolutely awesome year for you.
And so on, you know, every year just gets bigger and bigger and better and better. So I don't know what's going to happen next year, but
What are your plans for 2011? You've worked so hard through 2010 and reaping the rewards of it, but that seems to be just like possibly a foundation for bigger things to happen next year.
I'm recording a documentary for Sky One, which is going to be out next year, and then it's a thing about show business. You'll see it. I'll put it up on MagicNews TV and Magic Week and stuff. So, sorry, what was the question again?
You were out last night, weren't you? Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, is it not gone?
Yeah, not for the kids. You're segueing things through internet, through Facebook, and so on and so forth. You're really quite up in there. Where did that come from? Is that a plan that you had, or is that just something that's just more?
There's two words to show business, and a lot of entertainers who are very good at what they do neglect the business side of it. You've got the show and the business. If you can't have a show unless you run a business. You can't have a business without a show, so you can't. It's a 50-50 split. You've got to have a good show and you've got to be good at business as well.
What advice could you actually give them to actually make what they do better, to actually reach the higher echelons?
Okay, well, since we've just been talking about business, I'll probably tell them to quit, so there's more work for me. You just got to work hard. That's the only advice. You can only succeed properly, and if you're really passionate about what you do, and if you don't want any other job and this is it, then you'll succeed.
So although you're a bit of a party animal, I mean you're still a young lad, but you understand the business side of what you do very well, and you actually do it very well as well.
I've separated my life into 3/3. Well, it makes sense, but into thirds. Like, you've got to sleep for a third. Well, if you don't, you'll end up, a bit tired and affect your performances and stuff, which happens, but try and avoid it. 3/3 to the life. You sleep, and then you work, and then you have time off. Now, usually people doing a 9 to 5 mundane shitty job, they've got like a third of sleep, okay? And then they've got a third of the life that they don't enjoy and they complain about. That's the work. And they've got a third of the life that they spend talking about work and saying how crap it is. That's no existence. My life, I love what I do, and it's great. It's a beautiful world, show business. I sleep for a third of my time, party for a third of my time, and I party for another third of the time.
Before you actually even took to the street, what was your life like?
My life before I took to doing magic and all that sort of stuff, I was pretty rubbish. Sometimes the children's shows on the TV were cancelled. Sometimes I got grounded. I've been doing it too long to remember. I don't know.
Now you've got a very defined look. You've got a hat with a scarf and long straggly hair, which is sometimes spiked up into a halo, which is awesome. But your marketing is extremely defined. It's yellow and black, and it's like caution stuff, and it's like police tape and stuff. Where did that actually come from?
There's some street performers called Sophie and Jacob, and I bought an amplifier off them. It had yellow and black gaffer tape on it, and I kind of liked it, so I just put yellow and black gaffer tape on this little aluminium platform I had, and then started wearing yellow and black. So yeah, I've never answered that question before, but yes, I bought an amplifier and it had some hazard warning tape on it, and then everything was all hazard warning and stuff in yellow and black. And now I've got the branding's all right, the image and everything, and everything was all yellow and black. But the problem is with the yellow and black, James, I'm starting to steer away from it a little bit. You see, I've created a really good character. And I do this one show, The Contortionist Escape Act, and it's all yellow and black. And it's a good character act, but I want to lose it a little bit, and I want to stay away from being a character and be more of a personality. So to go back to the question you asked me before, what do I want to do in 2011? I want to be more of a personality and less of a character. I want to be like, like I'm hosting in Compound a lot of shows now, and I'm doing stand-up and stuff. So it's not just the yellow and black trademark.
Yeah, so it's not just crisscross doing a show and marketing themselves as such. It's actually being able to get in on the inception of something else and actually host or compare other things, because that's like another level.
Personality than a character.
And celebrity is a very fickle thing, and it has been said that Russell Brand looks extremely like you. Not that you look like him, but he's just
much bigger. Look, I don't have any chance. No.
But it's not celebrity you're looking for. It's
money.
Money.
Big house. This is my house, by the way.
Let's have a look at Chris Cross's house, and this is just the front porch,
Yeah.
and that's just the bathroom window, and you hear the noise in the background. That's somebody doing another show, isn't it?
No, I just finished about 2 hours ago and it was a delayed reaction.
Oh.
It's still clapping around me now.
So
Yeah, someone else did it.
so ego isn't having a high ego isn't a problem for you.
You gotta
Then
know what you're worth.
can you say
gotta
that?
be confident.
Could you say that again? I think that of all the things I've heard in the past couple of months or whatever, that's the most important thing.
Yes, you've got to know what you're worth. If somebody says, "Hey, can you come and do a charity gig?" and blah blah blah, you know, I give them a quote and I say, "Oh, it's for charity." Oh, great. Well, usually I charge, for example, £1,200, but no, I'll give you for half price. I'll only charge you 600 since you charity. Really, Chris? Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Consider. Also, when you get paid after a gig, magicians, here's a really good one for you. Really good line. When you get your cash, the line, you know, that awkward moment when you need to count your money. The line is, I'll just double check you haven't given me too much. I hate to rip you off. You've got to know what you're worth.
You know, even though we've been in pre-launch phase for the past couple of weeks, we've still been getting a lot of questions from our prospective viewers who'd like to have their question aired live on the show. Oh, and by the way, if you are sending in a question, please make sure that you think it's a question that, when answered, will benefit the community at large. One such question we got a few weeks ago was from Alan Taylor of Manchester, England. He writes, two words: read books. So what you do, Alan, is find a performer that you respect and then whose material you like, and then find out if he's got a book out and buy the book, and then read it and then devour it. Because one of the great things about books, as opposed to DVDs or video, is that you're not going to be swayed by their performance style. You're going to start generating your own chutzpah, your own performing style yourself. Yeah, there's a lot of generic stuff out there. Yeah, you will be picking up on this and that, but at the very core of it, it'll be you, and that's much better for you and much better for magic. So buy books, whether they're instructional, theoretical, or biographical. Buy books, learn more, and let buying books be part of your learning path. You can't go wrong. So buy a book. Go on, buy a book. Go and buy a book. You know you want it. And if you've got a comment that you'd like to leave about that advice, please do so below, and remember to like it as well. Or if you have any other advice or any books that you could recommend for new people starting out in magic, leave a comment below and hopefully they'll pick it up from there. That about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television. Well, that about wraps it up for the first episode of the... Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television. If you have any comments about the structure, about what's been said, about anything in regard of Magic News Television, please leave a comment below. Be more than happy to hear from you. If you'd like to have your question answered live on the show, click on the tab above and fill in the form. If you would like to register to make sure you don't miss an episode of Magic News Television, just over here, put in your details and we'll hook you up. If you would like to become a presenter on Magic News Television and have a Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Please, if you have any comments, do leave them below. I really would appreciate it. If you would like to ask a question, well, that about wraps it up for the first episode. That about wraps it up. Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television. If you have any comments that you would like to leave, good or bad, please leave them in the comments section below. If you'd like to have your question answered live on the show, click on the tab above Ask James. If you'd like to be a co-presenter and present magic reports from wherever you are in the world, go to the contact page and hear what we have to say there. Next week, we've got an interview with synth aficionado, entertainer and magician Paul Nathan. And if you'd like to catch up, fuck you. Well, that about wraps it up for this, the very first episode of Magic News Television. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you would like to, please leave a comment below, good or bad, but please remember it's a public forum. We don't want any sweary words, okay? Just leave a comment below. We'd very much like to hear from you. If you would like to have your question aired live on the show, click on the tab above, Ask James. And if you want to be reminded of when the next episode comes out, or when Road Test and Review actually comes out within the next few weeks, fill in your details over here. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Next week we've got an interview with absinthe aficionado, magician and entertainer Paul Nathan, and he's going to rock some socks, I'll tell you. Well, that about wraps it up for the very first episode of this brand new. Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television, and we hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to please leave a comment below, that would be greatly appreciated. It could be a good comment or a bad comment, but please, if it's a bad comment, don't use any sweary words. We've got a lot of minors reading that. Oh, sorry, I live in South Australia. There are no more minors. Sorry, generic material used in the show. C'est la vie. But if you'd like to leave a comment, please do so. Be more than happy to hear from you. If you would like to leave a question or have a question, well, that about wraps it up for the first episode. Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television. If you would like to leave a comment, please do so below, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But hey, if it's bad, please, no sweary words. We've got minors who might read it. And sorry, I remember living in the UK. There are no more minors. Using generic material from my show, there you go. But seriously, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do so below. Hey, if you'd like to have your question answered aired live on the show, please click on the tab Ask James. And if you want to be reminded of when the next episode comes out, or when we're going to be doing Road Test and Review, just fill your details over here. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can unsubscribe at any time, and we'll make sure that you're kept up to date. Next week, we've got an interview with Paul Nathan, absinthe aficionado, entertainer and magician, and seriously acerbic guy. My name is James, and this has been the first episode of Magic News Television. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now. Print. Well, that about wraps it up for this, the first episode of Magic News Television, and we hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a comment below. And if you haven't, please leave a comment below, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But hey, if it's bad, please no sweary bits, because we've probably got minors that watch the show. Sorry, I lived in Scotland for a long period of time. I don't realise or don't think there are any more minors. That's generic material from my show. What do you know? Anyway, if you've got a comment, please leave it below. We'd be more than happy to hear from you. If you would like to have your question answered live on the show, click on the tab above, Ask James, and we'll do our level best to make sure that your question is answered. If you would like updates and timely reminders of when the next show comes out, although it is weekly, but timely reminders are great, so you don't have to think about it. Just fill in your details over here, and we'll make sure that you're kept up to date and informed. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Next week, we've got an interview coming up with Paul Nathan, absinthe aficionado, raconteur, magician, and one acerbic guy. Those that know him know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's next week. My name is James, and you've been watching Magic News Television. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.